Thank you, Adrian. Yesterday marked the second anniversary of Mikel Arteta taking charge of the Emirates, a reign that superficially seen little change to the general Arsenal plotline of inconsistency, turbulence and drama. But few could now suggest that forward progress isn't being made. The squad rebuilt, with the youngest team in the Premier League manoeuvring themselves back into the top four. Getting there's been one thing, they've now got half a season to stay there. Silverware would provide an insurance policy when the season is ultimately judged, and this is the best chance in a competition that his mentor Pep Guardiola has set such store by. Tonight, a chance to concentrate on the last four rather than the top four and move within 2 wins of a trophy they haven't won in 29 seasons. Well, Arsenal might consider the draw was perfect at home to the lowest ranked side left in the competition. The Sunderland boss Lee Johnson was pretty happy too, because when he was asked who he wanted in the quarterfinals, he quipped that he hoped the Black Cats would get Arsenal Spurs away and, quote, leave the big boys for the semi-finals. A tongue-in-cheek statement that may just have been pinned up on the Gunners' dressing room wall. Johnson's side embark on only their second League Cup quarter-final in 20 years, a club whose clamour to regain their former status has been a long drawn-out affair, with a chance to fulfil fixtures like this on a weekly basis the overwhelming priority. But they have a manager who has been able to mastermind an appreciable series of shocks in the past, and having led Bristol City to a semi-final, can he now emulate that achievement with victory over a side who are ranked 43 places higher in the league? Arsenal have Leno in goal, Cedric White, Holding and Tavares, Pepe, Odegaard, Elneny and Smith Rowe, and Nketiah and Balogun. Sunderland, Burge in goal, Wright, Flanagan, Doyle, Winchester, Embleton, Neal and Gooch, and then Pritchard behind Stewart and Broadhead. The Arsenal players take the knee, their Sunderland counterparts don't. Some of them applaud the gesture. Arsenal, red and white, their familiar colours. They kick from left to right, attacking the end of the ground that is being defended by Sunderland in their yellow shirts and blue shorts. Arsenal kicking from left to right in this first half towards the clock end here at the Emirates Stadium. And in early possession, the ball worked back for Ben White, who's 15 yards inside his own half and plays it down towards Cedric. One of 9 changes to the starting lineup that Arsenal have made from the side that won a league, indeed the side that has started each of the last 4 Premier League games. Here's a man with a point to prove, Nicola Pepe, making his 100th appearance for the club tonight. Back for White, Pepe again in long sleeve shirt and black gloves on what is a pretty cold North London night. Back for Ben White, one of the players retained from the weekend team. Cedric working it through the midfield, but he's given it away. Pritchard to Embleton. Stewart then quickly works it out towards the Sunderland right-hand side, where his captain Bailey Wright can run round the ball. Just works it back in field towards Embleton. And then Embleton into Flanagan, who is pushed to the ground by Eddie Nketiah. First free kick of the night going Sunderland's way, just outside their own penalty area. Played just over a minute. It's Arsenal 0, Sunderland 0 on TalkSport, and alongside me is former League Cup winner Danny Mills.
The important thing for Sunderland, especially in the early parts of this game, is not to get sucked into trying to score too early. You expect Arsenal to have the lion's share of possession, and the temptation is sometimes when you win the ball, we've got to score now, got to score immediately, and you force it, you rush things a little bit. It's one of those, yes, if you can play forward and play with quality, great, but if not, just keep the ball. Everybody get a feel of the ball. Arsenal will let you have it at the back. They're not going to put you under too much pressure, and just grow into the game.
The ball is out of play for an Arsenal throw, which will be taken right in front of Mikel Arteta's technical area, away to our left-hand side. Lyndon Gooch wins it back for Sunderland in the midfield. He has played here before in this fixture in the Premier League. Arsenal taking on Sunderland at home last 4.5 years ago. Gunners picking it up with Smith Rowe, and he can work it across the edge of the penalty area for Cedric. Former finalist in this competition in his Southampton days. Flanagan steps in and wins it from Nketiah. And then the diminutive Embleton lays it back for the Giants centre-half Callum Doyle on loan from Manchester City. And he can work it forward for Pritchard. Pritchard with an intelligent ball into Nathan Broadhead, who's controlled it well. Gooch is the overlap for him. Left-footed ball inside the penalty area, half cleared. Pritchard might be able to get himself into a shooting position on the edge of the area. Does so, but his shot on the turn, just a little scupper. And it bobbles through for Bernd Lehler. First side of goal coming Sunderland's way. 3 gone, 0-0.
Good play from Sunderland. Great hold-up play from Nathan Broadhead. Did really well. Really good first touch. And then was clever. Didn't panic, just played the ball out wide. And then eventually, it was a little bit scrappy as it came back into Pritchard. Didn't really catch hold of his shot. Dug it into the ground a little bit and took the sting out of it. But good start for Sunderland.
They haven't got an outstanding away record this season. In fact, they've lost all 3 matches that they played away from home against sides who are currently in and around them in the top 8 of the division. They've lost as many as they've won on the road, all told. Arsenal's home record, absolutely exemplary. 11 games played here this season, and they've won 9 of them. Just the one defeat, which came very early season against Chelsea when they had selection problems at the time. Cedric laying the ball back for Ben White. White chipping it over the top. Pepe made an early run, but too early. He's offside. Just stole a march on Lyndon Gooch. And it's a free kick which will be taken by Sunderland, not too far outside their own penalty area. 4 minutes gone on TalkSport. It is 0-0. As Adrian was saying, we've got all the festive action for you on the TalkSport network over the course of the next week or so, including all 10 matches from week 20 of the Premier League. Arsenal in action then at home to Wolves. That's next Tuesday. Before that, Boxing Day, the Gunners at Norwich. That one's live for you on TalkSport 2. And then Arsenal's New Year's Day fixture at home to Manchester City is also exclusive to the TalkSport network. That's here on TalkSport, 12:30 New Year's Day on Saturday. And so much more besides as well. Arsenal in possession right now, back inside their own half, back inside their own penalty area with Bernd Lehler. And he will play it forward outside the box for White. Magnificent noise coming from the Sunderland supporters away to our right-hand side on a night when there are a few empty seats about as Stewart tries to make his way forward and takes it inside the penalty area, and the referee says no penalty. Now there's no VAR tonight, and Lee Johnson was jumping up and down on the spot, absolutely convinced that should have been a penalty. The ball threaded through, Stewart going down, and the referee didn't want to know. Arsenal now will work it for themselves, and a Balogun on the left-hand side of the box. Little shimmy, trying to take on Winchester, gets a right-footed shot in, which cannons away off Embleton. Pritchard can't help it further forward for the Black Cats, and Elneny will have his foot on the ball, and Lee Johnson is still absolutely fuming on the edge of his technical area in discussion with referee Rob Jones. Arsenal work the ball inside the box here, and Ketia heads it over the bar, and now Lee Johnson will try to attract the referee's attention to ask why a penalty wasn't given.
I've not seen it yet, Jim, but I'm saying it's a terrible decision. I don't understand why he's not given this. Now about to see it for the first time. It's a foul. It's accidental, but it's a foul. Elneny clips his back foot. He doesn't mean to it. It's fantastic play in the first half from Ross Stewart, and then he just clips his back leg. He's already sort of off balance, and it just means his trailing leg hits his own leg and he goes down. It was interesting. It was almost like the referee looked around for VAR at that point.
Well, it would have been interesting to see what the decision would have been on VAR, whether they would have decided that was a clear and obvious error, because
Jim, I don't think we've got any idea what that would have been.
Stewart was on the way down before the contact was made. I think he'd lost his balance, and I think that can be the only thing that had saved Elneny. There was a coming together almost with the top of the thigh, clipping the knee of Stewart on his way past.
But he was off balance because he'd won the ball off Elneny, and Elneny had already given him a little nudge. So you might as well say it was a double foul. If that's you know, it was only off balance because he'd already been pushed, and he was trying to stay on his feet, and it was the second one that then brought him down. I get your point about VAR, but I'm not sure we've got any idea what VAR would have said after some of the decisions of the weekend.
Well, the officials these days are told to have a look at the contact, the consequence of the contact, and the motivation of the attacking player in going to ground. Those are the 3 parameters that are judged on every offence. But it is Rob Jones, the referee tonight. He took charge of a shock in the quarterfinals last season. Brentford beating Newcastle by a goal to nil this time last year. And Sunderland still feeling very hard done by that they haven't had an early penalty here. It is 0-0. We played 8 minutes. Jim Proudfoot and Danny Mills talking through the action on TalkSport from North London tonight, where Sunderland have grown into the game, but they've lost possession here. Smith Rowe comes forward and he is fouled, and it's a free kick to Arsenal about 7 or 8 yards inside their own half. 0-0, 8 gone.
Again, this is, I think, where players get frustrated. No contact on Smith Rowe. He jumps the tackle because he sees it coming, and the referee gives a foul. It's just the continuous inconsistencies, I think, that is really frustrating for fans, for players, for everybody involved in the game.
Lovely take from Pepe on a ball that was played down the Arsenal right-hand side as he tried to turn it inside the penalty area. Sunderland get it away through Neil, and it's out for a throw that Cedric will take quickly into the feet of Ødegaard. Back for Cedric again. Nice turn and check to get it away from Lyndon Gooch. He works it back for Ødegaard. Played across the midfield towards Nuno Tavares, who's pushed forward into a central area from left back. Balogun supplying the width on the left. High ball inside the penalty area from him is easily knocked away. Flanagan with a defensive header. And then Arsenal claiming that there was a foul on the edge of the box and nothing given. Ødegaard wins the ball back for the Gunners, but in a deeper area near the centre circle. And now Cedric will find Pepe again. It's another chance for Pepe to try and run at Gooch. Left-footed ball inside the box this time. High up and under clearance from Wright. Similar type of header from Doyle. And then El Neni with a header can just work it down to his left-hand side for Nuno Tavares. His ball in behind Balogun, straight out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Sunderland right-hand side. But it's been an entertaining start, really good tempo to the game. We're 10 minutes in and it's still goalless.
I think that's mainly down to Sunderland. They're not prepared to let Arsenal just have the ball. They're going to go and close them down. They're going to try and put them under pressure. Okay, they will get picked off at times if they do that, and they're going to have to work incredibly hard for the full 90 or so minutes.
Ross Stewart, good ball from him out towards the right-hand side. Sunderland getting the bodies forward. Broadhead making the run, but White covered it and was able to sweep up across and knock it away. It was Winchester's delivery. And now Arsenal at the back on the right-hand side of their own penalty area. Cedric finding White, who is making one of these marauding runs forward that he loves to make, and then got the angle of the pass slightly wrong for Nicola Pepe, but it does end up going out of play off Neil for a throw that will be taken on the Arsenal right-hand side on halfway. But the Black Cats have shown plenty of endeavour and have shown a real willingness to push forward, particularly down the right-hand side in the early stages.
Yeah, it was a good break down the right-hand side from Winchester. He didn't quite release it early enough, and so Nathan Broadhead just had to check his run a little bit. He wanted the ball played in behind the defence, and because he sort of just had to check his run, by the time Winchester then looked up, it was a much more difficult pass. Sometimes when you get into those areas, just feed it in behind the defence.
High long diagonal ball from Ødegaard out towards Balogun, and Sturridge taking a touch off Winchester on the way through. No complaints from him significantly, and it's an Arsenal throw. Balogun playing on the left with Nketiah through the middle and Pepe on the right. So Ødegaard is in a slightly deeper role. He's not quite as advanced as Emil Smith Rowe, but more advanced than Mohamed El Neni. A midfield triangle, all playing at very slightly different levels for Arsenal. Back he comes for White, who's in his own half of the centre circle. 11 minutes gone on TalkSport, and it is still 0-0. Sunderland feeling they should have had a penalty when Stewart was clipped by El Neni inside the penalty area, but the referee Rob Jones said no. Don't forget your chance to react to everything that you're hearing tonight. The Sports Bar from 10 o'clock with Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara. As Arsenal bring it forward again, and a looping effort hits the bar, falls for Pepe. Left-footed shot from him is blocked by Gooch, and then goes out of play for a corner. That was Arsenal's
huge reflection, Jim, on the first one. I'm not sure who it came off. I think he was almost trying to pull the ball backwards. And as it comes in, it's a wicked deflection. Can't quite see who it was. I mean, very, very fortunate in the end. I think it was Embleton. It came off as the ball was cut back. He just stuck a foot out and it looped up over top of the goalkeeper, came back off the crossbar.
Yeah, it's Nuno Tavares with the delivery. And Arsenal get a corner out of it, which will be taken over on their left-hand side. It's worked short into the feet of Eddie Nketiah. And back out towards Cedric to Ødegaard, put under immediate and telling pressure from Pritchard. But Smith Rowe's got it, and he can feed it down the left-hand side of the penalty area here for Arsenal. Scooped in by Cedric. Holding comes to meet it. And then Winchester takes it, chests it down towards his own dead ball line. It's given a shot by Balogun. And it's a free kick to Sunderland inside their penalty area. 13 gone, 0-0, and Arsenal have hit the crossbar.
Well, Sunderland have effectively their own crossbar. But good play from there from Winchester. Just chested the ball down, knew that Balogun was coming in, and just stayed strong. Just got his body in between the ball and the man, made him give the foul away.
Carl Winchester, a player who never previously got past the second round of this competition before this run. A player known to Lee Johnson from his connections with Cheltenham, where his dad managed him. Here's Cedric. Taking a throw into the feet of Eddie Nketiah, who has scored on both of his previous starts in this competition this season. He's given away a free kick here. Foul on Pritchard, the one-time Tottenham player. And now to be played forward by Bailey Wright. Into the feet of Embleton. Back it comes for Flanagan, the centre-half, out towards Wright. Wright working it forward over the halfway line into the feet of the retreating Nathan Broadhead. Now out towards Winchester on the Sunderland right. He's nudged it back to Bailey Wright on the right of the three centre-halves. Wright, another player with previous connections with Lee Johnson. He was part of the Bristol City side that reached the semi-finals of this competition back in the day. Worked forward intelligently by Doyle, and then chipped over the top by Gooch, and Broadhead will chase after it, but it bounces on the edge of the D and rolls through to the Arsenal goalkeeper Bernd Lehner, who picks it up and immediately throws it out for the run of Balogun. Tavares busting a gut to get forward on the overlap for him. Ball in from him. Gooch is there to volley it away from inside the penalty area. Headed then back down by El Neni to Emil Smith Rowe. Approaching the edge of the Sunderland box. Chance to deliver again from that left flank. Tavares checks instead and plays it back towards El Neni. El Neni for Rob Holding, his captain, and then back for El Neni again, and now back behind square to the other centre-half, White. And Arsenal can work it forward again down towards Pepe. 15 goalless minutes behind us, but entertaining stuff. And then Pepe just given the slightest of nudges and felt the contact from Stewart and went down. It's a free kick to Arsenal. Danny Mills.
I think Pepe's a little bit fortunate in that situation. I mean, he's barely burst into a jog yet. He trips himself up. Simple as that. I mean, it's a poor decision. I mean, if a goal comes from this, I think Lee Johnson will be absolutely distraught.
Well, Sunderland have lined up a two-man wall. Embleton and Pritchard protect the near post area.
If that's a foul, Jim, it has to be a penalty at the other end. Simple as that. And that's this is just even less of a foul.
I can't argue with that. Here's Ødegaard and Cedric standing over it. Free kick midway between the right-hand side of the penalty area and the touchline, 15 yards from goal. Ødegaard swinging it in, and Burge got stuck in traffic, came out, didn't get anything on it, and it needed dealing with in behind him. It's headed away by Flanagan, and now to play for a corner.
Just a little bit overhit. I think in the end it's very, very difficult to score. If Embleton doesn't get anything on that, it's almost impossible for any Arsenal player to get that on target. It was almost on the goal line, beyond the far post.
So second Arsenal corner, and they've got three inside the 6-yard box. They've got another three attacking it from the edge of the penalty area, including Holding. Good save, bundled in on the rebound by Eddie Nketiah. This has been some competition for him this season. He scores again, and Arsenal lead Sunderland by a goal to nil. Holding with the initial header, decent save by Burge, but he can only parry it into a central area. And Nketiah couldn't really miss. He just leant forward, the ball hit him, bobbles over the line, and Arsenal lead by a goal to nil.
First header is really good. Holding pretty much unmarked. As it comes back off the goalkeeper, I think it's Nketiah with his knee. Right place, right time, just sticks a knee out, knee, thigh, into the back of the net, empty goal, as the goalkeeper is still on the floor. Unfortunate for Sunderland. I think there might have been a slip in there. It might have been Doyle that slipped initially and allowed Holding that original free header. But I'd be really disappointed without Lee Johnson. Sunderland have started well. That's given Arsenal an absolute leg up. Very, very easy goal to give away. But it all came from the free kick where Pepe tripped himself up.
Which is a point that I'm sure Lee Johnson will have made to the fourth official, John Brooks, already. Sunderland will have a right to feel that they haven't had the rub of the green in terms of the decision so far. But it is that familiar refrain which is emanating around the Emirates. 1-0 to the Arsenal. And Eddie Nketiah, who's scored against Leeds and Wimbledon in his cup run already, now scores against Sunderland. 3 starts from this season, 3 goals. Sunderland looking for an instant response. Have it with Lyndon Gooch running at Cedric, left-hand side of the area, and that wasn't what was needed. It was a really pacey, driven cross, far too much air underneath it, and it sails behind and out of play for a goal kick which will be taken away to our left-hand side by Bernd Leno. Arsenal 1, Sunderland 0 on TalkSport.
Just got a little bit overexcited, didn't he? Got himself into a good position. The adrenaline was flowing, just tried to really smash that ball across the 6-yard box. Got it wrong off the outside of his left foot in the end and well into the stand.
It was more like a shot from Graham Gooch trying to clear the boundary than Lyndon Gooch whipping one in towards the far post.
And getting a thick edge on it as well.
Here's Rob Holding out the back for Arsenal, trying to play out, and Sunderland are doing everything they can to stop that happening. Broadhead has eventually been beaten. Holding getting it forward. Neal picking it up in the midfield for Sunderland. A young man, an England under-20 international, and now Pritchard in space, right-hand side of the air. Better ball in towards the near post. Stewart attacking it. It was cleared by the Arsenal back line. Sunderland try and work it forward again. It ricochets off Ødegaard, and it'll be chased down the Arsenal right-hand side. And Flanagan covered a lot of ground to get there ahead of the speedy Pepe, and just got there first to put it out of play for a throw.
Well, he had to make that tackle as well. He was outnumbered 2-on-1. Wasn't sure if he was going to make it. Pepe was making up an awful lot of ground very, very quickly, but in the end, the last-ditch lunge just managed to tow it out of play.
19 gone, Arsenal leading with Eddie Nketiah's 3rd goal of the season. Here's Ødegaard, back for Cedric. And then Pepe caught from behind by Gooch. And the referee purposefully strides over towards this near touchline and shows him a yellow card.
I've got no idea why he's complaining. I mean, it's blatantly obvious. He's about 3-4 seconds late. I mean, there's no excuse for that anyway, shape or form. That's a booking all day long.
7th yellow card of the season for the former American international, Lyndon Gooch. He's playing the 200th game of his senior career today. And this has given Arsenal a free kick, but it's only about 10 yards or so inside the Black Cats' half. There have been 3 previous meetings in the League Cup between these two. Arsenal have gone through twice, but Sunderland once. Their victory coming at Highbury back in the 2002-2003 season. They were 2-0 down in that game and came back to win 3-2, but no Marcus Stewart in the side for them tonight. Here's Neal, put under good pressure by Pepe, and that's good industry from Nicola Pepe. He came back, won it cleanly, and he was able to get Arsenal going by just working it back for Rob Holding. Holding's ball forward over the halfway line. Tavares has covered a lot of ground, 20, 30 yards, and now out towards the Arsenal right-hand side for Pepe. Cedric on the overlap, ball played to him in time, right-footed ball in from him, and it should have been 2-0. Balogun coming to meet it, and he couldn't get clean contact with the header, and he's just put it harmlessly wide.
It's a great move down the right-hand side. Pepe just laying it off for Cedric. It's a good ball to the far post, not too much pace on it. Gives Balogun a time to adjust his run, to attack the ball, and he gets his timing completely wrong. Ends up nosing it into the ground. Big chance.
Has got a couple of goals for Arsenal's first team. The first of them against Molde in a European tie last season. Here's Rob Holding. Holding just given a shove there by Broadhead. The referee again allows play to go on. White on the edge of his own pen. And don't forget, from 4 a.m. every weekday morning, you can download the TalkSport Daily Podcast, which will include some of the best bits from TalkSport and TalkSport 2 over the last 24 hours. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or Acast. It's the TalkSport Daily. A reaction to this game in there, no doubt, with Arsenal leading it at the moment by a goal to nil.
Sunderland just got to make sure they stay in the game. You know, I wonder, they've been doing okay. They've been playing quite well. They've created a couple of half chances. disappointing goal to give away. So that's not a moment of brilliance. It's just a lack of concentration. That's the problem from a set piece. If they can stay in the game, even if it's 1-0 at half-time, they won't be too disappointed with that.
Those are thoughts of the former England World Cup defender Danny Mills, a winner of this competition in his career. Ball play forward by Doyle, but straight into Pepe. Ødegaard, Smith Rowe around the edge of the area, and a shot from Balogun is a tame one, saved by Burge, diving to his left-hand side. Very grateful to get his body behind that. There's a couple of chances Balogun's missed in as many minutes. There was a good quick release from Burge as well, bowling it out towards the diminutive blonde-haired midfielder Alex Pritchard for Sunderland. Back he comes now for his fellow midfielder Neil. Worked out towards Pritchard again, corner of the penalty area. Winchester making his way forward. High up and under cross from Pritchard. Trying to stand it up for Broadhead to attack at the far post, but it was too close to Leno. And Arsenal are able to bring it away with Mohamed El Neni. Just past the midway stage of this first half on TalkSport, with Arsenal leading, courtesy of Eddie Nketiah's goal on 17 minutes. Here's Ben White. Forward over halfway. Pepe with a little cushioned layoff for Cedric's run. And then it's been played off him by Broadhead and has gone out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Sunderland left-hand side. Plenty of endeavour, plenty of attacking intent from Sunderland, who have followed their manager's words. He said they weren't going to come here and die wondering. And they certainly aren't doing that. They're doing everything they can to be able to take the game to the opposition, and on the strength of what we've seen so far, it's been a better performance from Sunderland tonight than it was at Ipswich at the weekend in that 1-1 draw that we brought you on TalkSport. 1-0 at the moment. White's playing it forward towards El Neni. El Neni with pace back inside his own penalty area for his goalkeeper Leno. Smith Rowe comes to meet it. Back to the direction of play, lays it off, played forward by the Arsenal back line, and then a free kick is given for a foul in the midfield on the retreating Nketiah, and Arsenal have the chance to get their bodies forward, and it'll be a free kick that Rob Holding will take. 25 gone, Danny Mills, and Arsenal lead it 1-0.
Nketiah, right place, right time from the corner after Rob Holding's header was parried back into the 6-yard box. But I think Sunderland have done pretty well. He said they have got a threat going forward. They just need a bit more composure in the final third.
Here's Pepe to Cedric. Ødegaard wanted the ball to be played early. He would have been in an offside position had it been released to him. It's half cleared. Flick back towards Pepe again as El Neni makes a good run forward. Pritchard, who's seen plenty of the ball in the early stages, is in there again to win it back. Lays it down for Gooch, who's the only player booked so far, and now Doyle will be able to play it forward. That's a really good pass, and Broadhead will pick it up, and now he has the chance to run to the back line, and still Broadhead goes and then checks a little pirouette from him, faces goal again, lays it back for Pritchard, now down towards Gooch. Gooch, left-hand side of the penalty area, waited to deliver it, stands it up towards the far post. It's a good defensive header, right-footed effort comes back in. That is a really short, poor shot from Bailey Wright, way over the bar. It was another good Sunderland move. Maybe just needed the delivery inside the penalty area a couple of seconds quicker than it arrived.
I think it was Rob Holding in the end with a really good defensive header. 2 or 3 Sunderland players coming at the back post. It's not a bad cross in the end. He just stands it up to the far post, waiting for someone to come in and attack it. Stewart is there, trying to get on the end of it, but really good defensive play.
This is the first of 4 quarterfinals in the League Cup. We've got all 3 that take place tomorrow, and a choice of listening for you. Liverpool against Leicester's on TalkSport. Spurs against West Ham on TalkSport 2. And if you download the TalkSport app, we've got Brentford against Chelsea there. So all 3 games for you tomorrow. Cedric playing it forward now. Pepe deflected into the net for 2. Started the move himself, played it down towards Cedric, laid it inside the penalty area. Pepe with a right-footed shot, which beat the evasive lunge on the edge of the 6-yard box from Doyle, just bobbled off him and goes into the roof of the net. And Sunderland have been very game. They've given a good account of themselves, but they find themselves 2 down inside the opening half hour. Mountain to climb now.
Yeah, I said they've got to stay in the game. They've got to get to half-time at least 1-0. Pepe's come alive since he got wiped out by Gooch. I think Mikel Arteta might have to say to the opposition next time, someone go and kick him for me. Because suddenly before that he wasn't interested at all He took that heavy tackle and then he's been lively. It's a very, very fortunate deflection. It's off Doyle, it hits his shin, bounces down into the ground and then loops up into the roof of the net. Disappointing again from Sunderland. Giving the ball away against quality opposition, you're always going to get punished.
Well, Nicola Pepe scores his 25th goal for the club in his 100th game. A player that has hardly seen any match time at all in the Premier League recently, just 10 minutes worth of action in the last 7 Premier League games. But starting tonight, the last 10-12 minutes or so, he's done well on the score sheet to add to the goal from Eddie Nketiah. And Sunderland have a huge amount of work to do from here. Trailing by 2 goals to 0 on TalkSport. But Winchester has picked the pocket of Nuno Tavares here. Ball goes out for Stewart in a wide position. The very tall striker just drifting out wide for Sunderland, the Scotsman. And back he comes for Wright. And now laid back to the halfway line for Flanagan, whose heavy touch was steered away. And now to play for a throw by Eddie Nketiah. 29 gone, 2-0 to Arsenal.
Sunderland have made it very, very difficult for themselves now. It's going to be so difficult. At 1-0 you've always got a chance. You know, whether it be a set piece, a breakaway goal, whatever. Suddenly now to get 2 back against a quality Arsenal side with very good players in there. I can't see Sunderland coming back from this.
Pepe feeds Smith Rowe. The left-hand side of the penalty area for Balogun. Balogun lays it back. He has missed a couple of really good chances as well, so it could have been worse as far as Sunderland are concerned. Arsenal have now scored 13 goals in the competition this season and are yet to concede one.
Having said that, Jim, there was the penalty.
Yeah,
0-0,
absolutely.
Which I believe should have been given as a penalty. I mean, if that's given, changes the whole complexion of the game completely.
Because this Arsenal team then, with a smattering of youngsters in it, you just wonder about the mental resolve, going a goal down to a side in League One very early, had the penalty been put away. But it wasn't given, it's all academic. Here's Stewart. Smith Rowe robs him of possession and lays it back for El Neni to Cedric, to El Neni, and now down towards Martin Ødegaard. Ødegaard able to try and draw the challenge of Broadhead, plays it through the midfield for Nuno Tavares. Tavares out to the Arsenal left-hand side for Balogun. Balogun shown inside by Carl Winchester. Laid back for El Neni. Tavares has it again. Smith Rowe with a slightly heavy touch, and that just gave Neil the opportunity to win possession back. Embleton then plays it forward. Pritchard into space in the midfield. Neil is there first and pokes it forward, and all of a sudden it's 3 against 2. It's in for Broadhead. Flicks it round the goalkeeper and in. And Sunderland halve the deficit almost straight away. Nathan Broadhead, who's been in such a rich vein of goal-scoring form. The biggest goal of his young career to date, and it is Arsenal 2, Sunderland 1.
Oh, brilliant goal, fantastic breakaway, really good play. Just when I thought that Sunderland looked like they'd lost a little bit of belief in what they were trying to do, superb play, absolutely brilliant, breaking forward. Embleton just held the ball, attracted the defenders towards him, played it in behind Ben White for Broadhead. And as Leno comes out, it's an outstanding finish. He looks at the goalkeeper, he sees him coming, little dink with the outside of his foot, skips off the turf. Ben White can't get there. Somehow Sunderland have given themselves a lifeline.
Nathan Broadhead, the young Welshman, scoring for a 4th successive game. That's 7 in his last 9. Now the other end is played forward. The ball hits the face of Lee Burge on the edge of the penalty area. He came outside the box and Nketiah tried to flick it over him. Burge did well to make sure that there wasn't an instinctive raise of the hand, because had there been, he would have been sent off. But he got his head to it to alleviate the danger. Good cup tie this. Arsenal 2, Sunderland 1.
I'm not sure it was deliberate, Jim, was it? I don't think he knew too much about that. Very, very fortunate Burge as he came. Burge came flying out, and Nketiah just looking to scoop it over him, hit him straight in the face. To be fair, he did well. He didn't even take a standing count, did he?
Hard as nails. I was just thinking that would have knocked me off my feet. Goal kick to Sunderland. I felt that it was crucial that they got themselves back in the game pretty quickly, and they've been able to do that, and it could get better for them here because Broadhead is in again. Right-hand side of the penalty area. Stewart waiting. Was unmarked for a moment on the edge of the box, then makes a darting run. Broadhead can't find him. Ball flicked back in by Embleton. Pritchard will be able to bring it down and turn neatly. And Sunderland forced to go back, but maintaining possession. And the travelling Mackems away to our right-hand side, loving this. Embleton to Pritchard. Via a touch from Winchester on the touchline, who gets it back again, the Northern Ireland international. Back towards Flanagan, the deepest of Sunderland's outfield players, to his centre-half partner Doyle. Doyle forward now. Through the midfield from Neil. What a good ball that is, out to the right-hand side for Winchester. Winchester towards the edge of the penalty area, laying it back for Pritchard again. Good composed attacking football this from Sunderland. Plenty of passes in the move. Wright has made his way forward from centre half. He's still able to recycle it and lay it back again through the midfield. Doyle wearing 6. Forward towards Broadhead, the goal scorer. A little layoff from him. Stewart to Neil. High ball out to the Sunderland right. And only now does the move break down. Just a little bit too much on it. Referee plays a good advantage. Oh, and it's a decent save from Leno. As the shot comes in from distance on the edge of the area. Tipped round the post by the German goalkeeper. What a response this has been from the Black Cats. They've got one back. And only a good save has denied them making it 2-2 there. A decent strike. And well saved to deny Winchester.
Might have just drifted round the post, but Leno wasn't to know that. I honestly thought at 2-0 that Sunderland were down and out. I thought their shoulders dropped. They suddenly looked like they lacked a little bit of belief, and then all of a sudden a breakaway from nowhere. Broadhead gets them back into it, and the fans, well, a raucous, absolutely brilliant away support from Sunderland, and they're right back in it again.
5 Sunderland players standing in a line, in a queue, attacking the delivery which comes in from the corner. Flanagan was the target at the back post. Tavares heads it away. And having had the first corner from the left, they'll now take another one from the right-hand side, which Pritchard will saunter over to take. 10 minutes to go to half-time in what has been a fascinating and hugely enjoyable League Cup quarter-final. 2-1 to Arsenal.
Sorry, Jim, that goal has changed the whole perspective of the game, because if you're going at 2-0 down, you're thinking, what do? Do we go for it? Do we risk getting beat 3, then 4? Suddenly now they've got a great chance.
Pritchard with an outswinger this time, very deep towards the back post. Stewart going up for it, took a little deflection after his header. Smith Rowe turns it away, and it'll be brought down on the counter-attack by Pepe, but his touch just allowed Winchester to come back and mop up. And then it'll be worked all the way back to goalkeeper Burge, who will take a touch outside his penalty area and then drive it forward right-footed over halfway. Great header by Stewart. And towards the Sunderland right for Pritchard. Pritchard making his way forward. Right-footed crosses beaten away at the near post. Flick back by Embleton out towards Pritchard again. Level with the edge of the penalty area. Bailey Wright makes his way forward and still goes. Good touch. And towards the right for Pritchard, who drives it in. Right for it, hits Balogun and goes out of play for a throw right down by the corner flag. Last 7 or 8 minutes, Sunderland have been fantastic. Left footed ball in towards the near post here. Well headed away by Rob Holding. Then a little shove by Nketiah. And another free kick is given. This one Sunderland's way. Level the right-hand side of the box and about 12 yards outside the penalty area. Another chance to load the penalty area with 9 to go to half-time and 2-1 to Arsenal to score.
Yeah, unnecessary foul from Nketiah. Just putting his team under a little bit of pressure right now. Sunderland have done fantastic. It's amazing, isn't it, how goals change the whole complexion. They're still losing the game, but all of a sudden now they're on the front foot. They've got a little bit of belief back in themselves. They've got 10, 15, 20% more energy about themselves.
2 stand over the free kick. Right, unmarked to the back post. Tavares has just had a cursory look around to see where he is. Pritchard swinging it in. Oh, diving header goes wide. Wouldn't have counted, actually. The offside flag was up anyway. But it was a free header inside the penalty area. Great delivery from Pritchard in behind the back line. I think it was Flanagan that threw himself at it. And the replay shows that he just went half a second too early. It's probably a yard offside.
He's got to be delighted that's offside, because that was a real opportunity. But it just goes to show that Arsenal are a little bit fragile, when it comes to defending set pieces and corners. That wasn't the Arsenal of old. That wasn't stepping up to play somebody, offside, all in a line, hands in the air. That was fortunate.
That goal that Nathan Broadhead scored, incidentally, the first that Arsenal have conceded here in 8 hours and 9 minutes since Jacob Ramsey scored for Dean Smith's Aston Villa back in October.
Great finish though, Jim, wasn't it? I mean, real under pressure, running through, goalkeeper coming out, had a little look at the goalkeeper, saw him coming out at speed, and just a little dink outside the foot.
It was a finish of a player that you'd certainly expect to be able to play much higher, and I know that he has played for Everton in the Premier League fleetingly and also in Europe, again very fleetingly right at the start of his career, but he's a good prospect, and his goal scoring record certainly passes muster. As I mentioned earlier, he's now scored 7 goals in his last 9 games.
We talked about it before the game, didn't we, Jim, that Sunderland will come here and they will probably get a little bit more time on the ball. Arsenal will let them have the ball. It's not as frantic as Championship League One games, at times. And I think Sunderland have done that really well. They've kept the ball. Majority of time they've kept composure and passed it well.
Well, Sunderland show a little bit more attacking intent. Needs must. They do leave themselves prone to Arsenal coming at them with pace going the other way. And here's Pepe to Cedric on the overlap, can chip his right foot underneath the ball to guide it inside the penalty area. Sunderland clear. Back out as far as Pepe. Too much on that. And it tripped into the Sunderland supporters at the clock end of the ground and out of play for a goal kick. 40 minutes of huge entertainment, 16 attempts between the two sides. They come with real regularity, controversy as well, with the penalty that wasn't given Sunderland's way at 0-0 in the very early stages. Arsenal have hit the bar, and we've seen 3 goals as well. 3 games tomorrow. They've got a lot to live up to on the TalkSport network. And a reminder of where they are: Liverpool, Leicester on TalkSport, Spurs, West Ham on TalkSport 2, Brentford, Chelsea on the TalkSport app. All 3 games coming your way tomorrow night, and then the draw as well after the conclusion of those 3 matches. Is Cedric in possession for Arsenal, who, as things stand, 50 minutes away from being in that draw. There's no extra time, straight to penalties if it's level after 90 minutes. Arsenal leading it at the moment by 2 goals to 1. Nketiah on 17, Pepe on 27, and Broadhead on 31 for Sunderland. Here's Pepe making his way forward again, and he's in. Gooch back goal side. Referee has a look, says that Pepe went to ground of his own volition. No penalty, and Flanagan knocks it away. Danny Mills.
The ball was behind him. He was turning his back to goal. He was off balance a little bit, and as he sort of spun round, he just fell to the floor. I don't think there's enough in that for a penalty, but Sunderland do have a problem with Pepe down this side because they're playing wing backs. Pepe's getting the ball, he's running at Gooch, and then Cedric is just coming down the outside on the overlap every single time, and nobody's marking him. Lee Johnson's going to have to address that at half-time because it's too easy at the moment.
And that was the area...
It's going to happen again here.
Sorry, Dave, that was the area where Ipswich were really able to exploit at the weekend.
Doyle isn't the most athletic centre-half, and I think he's reluctant to come out into this wide area. So that means Gooch is having to drop in and almost play as a left-back at times, rather than a wing-back.
Here is Doyle playing it forward now, off Pepe, and now for a throw which will be taken level with us. We're situated about midway inside the half that Sunderland are defending in this first half. It's a throw which Doyle will take. England under-19 international. He's only 18, on loan from Manchester City. Now, has hardly missed a game all season. White finding Rob Holding, who is the captain for Arsenal tonight. Still no Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, not integrated back into the matchday squad as of yet, still serving his internal suspension. Arsenal, if you're just joining us, making 9 changes from the weekend, which is typical of how this cup run has been approached. Sunderland making just the 2. Arsenal run the ball forward down the right-hand side of the box, and Nketiah flashes an instant cross in. There's nobody there, certainly nobody where the ball ended up, but didn't really have too much to aim at anyway, and it goes out of play for a Sunderland throw over on the far side. 3 to go to half-time here on TalkSport. It remains Arsenal 2, Sunderland 1.
Great game of football. And I don't think we're surprised, actually. It started that way, didn't it? You know, Sunderland came here clearly with intent to press and put Arsenal under pressure. They weren't coming here just to park the bus and defend. They created opportunities, could have easily had a penalty. I think Nathan Broadhead has been superb up front. You know, on his own a lot of the time, but his touch has been superb, bringing players into the game. I was a little bit concerned. The shoulders just dropped a little bit at 2-0, but they got that goal very, very quickly, and it's given them a massive boost.
Broadhead's just been flagged offside, and Arsenal took a free kick very quickly. El Neni down to Cedric, back for White. White's ball through the midfield is picked up by Emil Smith-Rowe.
Broadhead's down as well, Jim. There's a little bit of a concern.
Here's Nuno Tavares. Sunderland temporarily down to 10 men. With Tavares getting it onto his right foot to cross it in towards Ødegaard. Dawes slightly mistimed his jump. The ball brushing off his head and going back outside the penalty area. Still Broadhead is down. It's up to the referee to stop the game. Arsenal perfectly at liberty to play on if they choose to do so. Ball inside the box, a little flick header at the near post from Pepe. Comes out for Smith-Rowe, good save by Burge. Diving to his right-hand side to deal with an acrobatic volley from Emil Smith-Rowe. Then it's played forward out to Ross Stewart, and now it will be put out. So the Broadhead can receive whatever treatment is necessary. He's been down for a good minute or so, and the fact that he hasn't been able to get back to his feet suggests this is a pretty serious problem for him.
I don't mind Arsenal playing on. You know, it clearly, it wasn't anything dramatically serious that, you know, he was in danger of anything. He got up, he went back down again. You know, Arsenal, I think, had the right to play on, but I don't think when it goes back into their half and it comes to Ben White, there's no real advantage. I think Ben White did the right thing. He got 1 or 2 cheers from the crowd that weren't overly happy, but he put the ball out. But no, I think the right thing to do in that situation, considering he was deep in his own half. We're just seeing it again now.
Impact injury on the Achilles, potentially from Holding. He knew straight away that the collision was bad because he leant over just for a moment to see if Broadhead was okay. Took a very quick free kick, mind, but
I think he might have pulled something. I'm not sure there was too much contact there, Jim. I think that there was contact, but I think it was after. I think the contact came because he's almost stopped and slowed down. And I think there's almost a point where he limps. That's a little bit of a concern.
Well, we're into 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Those 3 minutes will only start when the play resumes. Broadhead's back on his feet, but is being led away now by a member of the Sunderland medical team. I don't know whether they are going to make a change at this juncture. I think they're going to have to. In terms of strikers on the bench, they've got Benji Kimpioka, who has had a loan spell at Southend this season, the National League, and a largely unsuccessful one at Torquay last season. There's going to be Denver Hume, who will be coming on. Now, Hume came on in the game against Ipswich during the week and played at left wing-back. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what his role will be. But Broadhead, the goal scorer for Sunderland, leaves the field, and Hume is on to replace him in first half stoppage time.
Yeah, gutted for Broadhead. I mean, I thought he was playing really well. He was looking sharp, he was a threat, he was holding the ball up well. He's obviously just tweaked something. He's walked off, which obviously is encouraging. Hopefully it's not too serious, but obviously in terms of this evening, he can't impress anymore.
Well, it looks as though they've changed to a back four, and Hume is going to play at left back, right back, with Flanagan and Dahl, the two centre halves, and Gooch will push forward to the left wing. Pritchard at 10 in behind Stewart up front. Good first contribution from Hume. He's won it back from Pepe in first half stoppage time. Arsenal leading 2-1. Sunderland trying to get forward on the front foot. Gooch has lost it. It's knocked away by Cedric to halfway, but mopped up again easily by Sunderland, who can now bring it forward with Neil trying to turn inside away from Pepe, and he almost threaded it through towards Gooch, and then White, after a poor first touch, is forced to put it behind for a Sunderland corner to alleviate the danger, and they got a chance to get back level before half-time.
Good decision in the end from Ben White. Leno was coming out screaming for the ball. Ben White was unsure, so he just kicked it out for a corner and then deal with it after that.
Corner taken short, then fired in by Embleton, half cleared out towards the right hand side of the penalty area where Flanagan has it. Flanagan with a little back heel flick. Lyndon Gooch, the beneficiary of that, has it on the edge of the penalty area, but in a much wider position. He's pulled it back for Pritchard. Pritchard let him fly, and Leno is able to get down and make a save at his near post. Got his body behind it and then gathered at the second attempt. So about a minute of stoppage time to go, and Arsenal lead it by 2-1, but the absence of Nathan Broadhead could be very significant. What have you made of the tactical decision to go to a flat back four now for Sunderland?
I actually think that'll do them a favour. Losing Broadhead is a big loss as we come to half-time, because he was fantastic. He was really, really sharp, holding the ball up. He was a threat, running in behind. But the back four might stop this issue of Pepe coming down this right-hand side and then Cedric coming on the overlap, which one of the goals came from.
Well, it's been hugely entertaining, and Nketiah and Pepe for Arsenal, after Sunderland thought they should have had a penalty very early on when Broadhead went to ground at 0-0. Broadhead then scored to halve the deficit not too long after Nicola Pepe had doubled Arsenal's advantage, and Sunderland the better side in the last 15 minutes of that first half. But a great engaging cup tie. It is Arsenal 2, Sunderland 1 at half-time. And this is how they're lining up. Leno in goal for Arsenal, Cedric White holding in Tavares, El Neni and Smith Rowe, Pepe, Erdegaard and Balogun, and Eddie Nketiah up front. Sunderland Burge in goal. Started with a back three, they changed to a back four after Broadhead went off right at the end of the half. It's Wright, Flanagan, Doyle and Hume, Embleton and Neal, Winchester, Pritchard and Gooch, and leading scorer Stewart up top. And straight away the ball is played in his general direction, and he hobbles away after going up for it in the air right from the kickoff, and he is going to need treatment, and that's an injury to Sunderland's leading scorer Ross Stewart about 7 seconds into this second half. Danny Mills.
That's the last thing they need, not just in terms of this game, obviously with Broadhead already going off and Stewart now going down as well. It's a little bit of a worry. I think, just having a look at it on the replay, I think it's a kick, in all honesty, which is better than a pull or a twist. Just gets his ankle stood on as he goes to take off. So, yeah, it'll be a little bit sore, might be a little bit swollen in the morning, but I think there's every chance in one of those, after a couple of minutes, you get a bit of feeling back into it and hopefully you'll be able to run it off.
Yeah, he's got 11 goals this season. Only one man has scored more in League One than him. A player who scored in Ross County's League Cup win at Celtic last season. And he's got a big reputation, had a fantastic first full campaign on Wearside, and having received treatment, comes off to this near touchline, and as play resumes with a drop ball to Arsenal, Stewart comes back on. Still not moving with a great degree of fluency, but hopefully within a minute or so he will have been able to run it off largely. Here's Rob Holding at the back for Arsenal, and he can bring it forward unchallenged towards halfway, and then flights one over the top, which is headed down by Bailey Wright into the feet of Embleton. Embleton struggling to maintain possession, loses out to Balogun, but didn't have any room to work with on the touchline, and it's gone out of play for what has been given as a Sunderland throw on this near side. Sunderland have never won this competition, runners up a couple of times, back in 1985 when an own goal won the League Cup for Norwich, and both of the finalists got relegated that season, and then
Off Asa Hartford's shot.
good knowledge.
Oh, good knowledge.
And was it Chisholm with the own goal?
Yes. I was there watching it.
As a young Norwich fan?
Correct, yes. Milk Cup it was back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, big celebration. That was the first year that Liverpool hadn't won it for a long time.
I think Asa Hartford still claimed it and still does to this day.
Yeah, well, I know Chisholm doesn't want it.
Yeah. Sunderland have just got to make sure they stay in the game, Jim. You know, they can't. Don't give the game away in this first 15 minutes of the second half. You know, the couple of sloppy goals in the first half cost them. Just keep it tight for 15 minutes.
Well, here's Pritchard making his way forward towards the edge of the penalty area. It's not the worst ball in. Hume pushing forward from left back, couldn't quite get there in time after it had beaten those in the middle. And it goes out of play for a throw which will be taken over on the far side. Sunderland also runners up on the Gus Poyet back in 2014, but this is only their second quarter-final in this competition in 20 years. They've got a good record in them, though. They've won 4 of their 7 quarter-finals. Arsenal, on the other hand, have lost 7 of their last 9 League Cup ties at this stage. But they lead this one, the Gunners. hoping to make sure that history doesn't repeat itself. We talked in the first half about the fact that Sunderland have only ever knocked Arsenal out of this competition once. They were 2-0 down that day and came back to win 3-2 just over the road from here at Highbury. 2-0 up tonight is currently 2-1, 4 minutes into the second half, and Elneny works it wide. Stewart still looks as though he's struggling for full movement at the moment. The Sunderland striker is injured right at the start of this second half. They've already lost Broadhead, the goal scorer, to injury. Here's Tavares, worked down towards Balogun. Balogun with a nice little reverse ball back for Nuno Tavares, who's got round the challenge, and now left-hand side of the area, flashing it across, and there is goal number 3. And Nketiah making a darting near-post run, got the touch, flicks it past Burge, and Arsenal had their 2-goal advantage restored. Balogun with the delivery, and Nketiah with the finish. It's Arsenal 3, Sunderland 1.
Sunderland done exactly what I said they couldn't do, and it's give a simple goal away. Again, it's poor defending. To Embleton that dives in, and there's no need to at that stage, and it just makes it very, very easy for Tavares then to put the ball into the box, and a little flick, almost like what would be a Cruyff turn, ends up in the back of his front foot actually, when he gets onto it. Simple goal. But when you dive in out wide, you then allow Tavares to run in completely unopposed and put that ball into the 6-yard box, causing yourself all sorts of problems.
The finish was routine. The movement to get there, though, was excellent from Eddie Nketiah, because he's covered a lot of ground and he's snuck in blind side of Doyle at the near post. He'll be disappointed. He's only 18, and it's certainly a mistake he'll learn from, but that was there to be attacked at the near post area by the Sunderland defender to get it away, and Nketiah was there first. So Arsenal have a 2-goal lead again. Sunderland looking to do what they did in the first half and halve the deficit almost straight away. They have it with Pritchard inside the penalty area. Neil trying to get in there, head in his hands, and he just couldn't quite get the ball back to play in Winchester. Sunderland got a corner out of it, but it could have been more. It was a really good response from them straight away.
They've created some really good opportunities. They've got themselves into the box and in the final third. Just sometimes they haven't quite had that little bit of quality or that little bit of composure, and that's probably the difference between the two teams.
Sunderland again with a line of 5 from the penalty spot towards the 6-yard box to attack this Pritchard delivery. It's swung in and headed away by White. And it will go out for a throw that Pritchard will trot across to take. Gooch trying to make a darting run down the left-hand side of the penalty area for him for a quick one, but that quick throw wasn't forthcoming. And it's going to be left inside for the young man Denver Hume, who's only made a couple of substitute appearances in the league this season, but does have more than 80 games for Sunderland behind him. Ball headed emphatically back towards the edge of the box. Wallace holding it up well. Back out to the Sunderland left once more. Chance to try and deliver. Gooch couldn't get it in, and Cedric is able to get it away in towards Eddie Nketiah, but he couldn't hold it up. Neil wins it back. He's shown up really well tonight. Ball into the Arsenal penalty area again. Stewart was offside, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Arsenal about 8 yards from their dead ball line. Arsenal leading Sunderland by 3-1 here on TalkSport.
Sunderland worked so hard to get themselves back into it in that first half. With a fantastic finish from Broadhead, as he went through, but they've just given it away. It's such an unnecessary challenge. First rule of defending: if you go to ground, you have to win the ball. Simple as that. Because if you don't, you're out of the game, and then the player on the ball has got time and space, can do whatever he wants. It's a bad injury.
And it's Hume over on the far touchline. Play goes on. The two players who were just waiting for the ball to get there. There's a slight collision off the ball between them as they were both watching the ball. Hume has stayed down. He's getting back to his feet now, but he's out of position at the moment. Balogun trying his luck from the edge of the penalty area. That one was blocked at source. Smith Rowe turns it round the corner here. Sunderland with enough bodies back inside the penalty area to be able to get it away. And then Wright initially with a challenge, which the Arsenal players took exception to, and then Balogun swept his legs away from him, and he, I think, will receive a yellow card. It's a free kick to Sunderland for the foul on their skipper Bailey Wright. Yellow card for Balogun.
And rightly so. It's a swipe in the end. I think he was a little bit frustrated. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the initial challenge. And Balogun comes in and just stamps on his foot.
So Balogun in the book, Lyndon Gooch in the book before that for Sunderland in the first half. Sunderland supporters away to our right, still in fine voice, as you would expect. Certainly had their moments in this game, but a couple of rash defensive indiscretions have cost them dearly. They trail by 3 goals to 1. Free kick taken, long by Burge, headed back through the midfield. Balogun's got it again, but that was a real something or nothing ball forward from him. Right with a back pass that was brisk. Burge with time to take a touch and get it away from Nketiah to get Sunderland going again, and they'll launch it forward long towards Stewart. Stewart nodding it down and then getting the return ball immediately from Pritchard. Pull back through the midfield again. Sunderland work it from the left over towards the right. Elliot Embleton bringing it forward. Good movement off the ball to his right hand side. Bailey Wright on the overlap from fullback. Back for Embleton once more into a central position. Oh, he's so unlucky. Curling effort, and he's clipped the outside of the post and gone wide. Great strike from Embleton. Desperately unlucky that it's not 3-2.
So unlucky, almost makes up for that mistake where he dived in. He knows exactly what he wants to do. He comes inside, he has a look, he has another little look, and he just bends it towards the far corner. Leno's beaten, and it just skims the outside of the post.
Well, Arsenal are going to make a change, and Balogun is making way. Granit Xhaka is going to come on to replace him, and that's a change that I'm sure we'll see Emil Smith-Rowe come out to the left-hand side from central midfield, and Xhaka will come and play alongside El Neni in his customary role. So Arsenal will now have Xhaka and El Neni, and then they'll have Ødegaard as a 10, Smith-Rowe on the left, Pepe on the right, and Eddie Nketiah through the middle. Substitution that makes perfect sense, really. Danny with a 2-goal advantage, and Balogun having just received that yellow card.
Yeah, just bring on a little bit of experience, because Sunderland are good going forward. It's only in the final third where at times they've lacked a bit of composure and a little bit of quality, but they're creating chances. And I think the last thing that Mikel Arteta needs is them to get another goal. He saw what happened when they got one back in the first half. Their tails are up, the crowd are up, and then Arsenal were under pressure for the last 15 minutes of the half. He doesn't need that again.
Had a couple of pretty hefty away defeats this season, Sunderland. They lost 4-0 at Portsmouth, 5-1 at Rotherham. Now I have to make sure that this isn't a heavy one. They don't deserve this to be a heavy defeat, far from it. They trail at the moment by 3 goals to 1. This will be Arsenal's 4th straight win in all competitions if they can hold on here. A chance to make that 5, 6 and 7 over the festive period. They go to Norwich on Boxing Day, live on TalkSport 2. Wolves here on Tuesday the 28th, as Sunderland are on the front foot here with Stewart with an effort that is easily saved. That Arsenal-Wolves game, 12:30 kickoff, Tuesday the 28th, live and exclusive here on TalkSport. And then Arsenal at home to Manchester City, mouth-watering start at 2022 against the current Premier League champions and leaders, and that's 12:30 New Year's Day. Also, live and exclusive on TalkSport. Pepe with a lovely piece of skill inside the area, and a little backheel flick puts it in for 4. Eddie Nketiah with a hat-trick. A wonderful moment for him. A player whose future seemingly is destined to lie elsewhere. Rejected a new contract offer. He said he wants to leave. He's not happy with the amount of playing time he's got, but he's made this competition his own. That's 5 in 3 ties in this competition. No one has scored more in the League Cup this season, and Eddie Nketiah gets his first Arsenal hat-trick, a night he will never forget.
Hume gets done on the far side. First of all, his body shape is wrong. The ball gets played in behind him, and then he charges towards Pepe, makes it too easy. It goes past him so easy, just rolls it through his legs, goes round the outside of him. He's still going forward. Pepe's got control of the ball. You can't do that. You've got to stop beforehand, give yourself a yard. Pepe just rolls it in. to Nketiah, who just flicks it into the back of the net. Well, it's bizarre, isn't it? Nketiah hasn't done an awful lot in the game, he's got a hat-trick. And then he's a sort of striker where he's in the right place at the right time. I saw him a lot at Leeds. Similar at times, in the right place at the right time. But I just wonder in this day and age where you almost have to do more than just be a goal scorer. You know, being the Gary Lineker or the Tony Cottee, you know, in and around the 6-yard box. Managers want more than that, and that's probably why he's not playing as much as he thinks he deserves, though his goal record is very, very good.
Well, he's had less than 2.5 hours of Premier League football in 2021, but he's got a hat-trick tonight against League One opposition, and Arsenal are 4-1 up as we approach the hour mark. Now Sunderland have a free kick. Arsenal keeping a line on the edge of their own penalty area. Just about everybody forward here for the Black Cats as it's swung in left-footed in towards the near post. Gooch chesting it down. Pritchard will be able to bring it forward. His cross-come shot is blocked, and Arsenal will bring it away on the counter-attack again. And Hume has been committed, and he's done everything he can to stop Pepe getting past him, including attempting to wrestle him to the ground. And as a result, having curtailed Pepe's progress, Hume gets a yellow card.
I don't think the referee needed to point for us to know who was getting the yellow card at that point. He had hold of his shirt, didn't he? He had a little bit of he tried to trip him, missed him, then grabbed hold of his shirt, tried to trip him again. It was on those, can't get done again for the second time. It's on the halfway line. Yes, he's into the book, but not a huge problem. But just going back to Eddie Nketiah, he was very similar at Leeds. Scored goals, was in the right place at the right time, but Bielsa did not trust him to play him from the beginning of games in 90 minutes. And yeah, sometimes you have to look at yourself. He's clearly got a lot of talent. He's got an eye for goal. So why is he not playing? And it's not just under one manager, it's been under probably 2 or 3.
Okay, so how does he rectify that? Is that a question of dropping a level? Either that level being either down towards the bottom of the Premier League or the bottom half Premier League team or a championship team, or can you, when you get to Nketiah's age, because he is 22 now and he's got nearly 100 senior games behind him, can you modify your game at that stage?
Oh, without a doubt. He's got to work harder. Simple as that. I think that's the biggest problem.
Here's Tavares, ball in towards Eddie Nketiah again, and Burge is off his line quickly enough. As it came in from Tavares, it hit Nketiah and sort of bounced through a little bit awkwardly. And Burge had the opportunity to throw himself at the feet of Nketiah and make the save and deny him the chance for his 4th and Arsenal's 5th.
In and around the 18-yard box is brilliant. You know, he's absolutely superb. His quick movement, his finishing is superb. Real eye for getting in the right space, being in the right place at the right time. But he doesn't do a lot outside the 18-yard box. And the way the game is, you know, you've got to close down, you've got to hold the ball up, bring people into play. It doesn't do enough of that, in my opinion.
Ben White trying to come out from the back. He ran into traffic and Pritchard has dispossessed him. Gooch peels off to his left. Stewart is in the middle. Pritchard still going. He sports Gooch wider than he wanted to go. He can still get it in, but Elneny knocks it away. And it goes out of play for a Sunderland throw, which Hume will go out to take midway inside the Arsenal half. Arsenal 4, Sunderland 1, with the 62 minutes gone here on TalkSport. Jim Proudfoot and Danny Mills, former winner of this competition, talking through the action tonight from 10 o'clock. Your chance to react. The Sports Bar with Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara on 03717 22 33 44. And then tomorrow on TalkSport, White and Jordan with Trevor Sinclair from 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Hawksby and Jacobs and Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent on Drive from 4 o'clock. And of course, the big man Alan Brazil on breakfast tomorrow morning from 6 here on TalkSport. Here's Tavares, an opportunity for him to bring it forward for Arsenal. Lays it back for Holding. Holding to his goalkeeper Ben Leno. No clean sheet for him tonight. He's been beaten once. And Sunderland, remember, hit the post at 3-1 down. A chance to get it back to 3-2, which could have put the game back towards the knife edge, but there's no real jeopardy now with 27 minutes to go and Arsenal 3 goals to the good.
Yeah, the scoreline doesn't really reflect the game, does it, Jim?
No, not at all.
Sunderland have been in this, and even if you look at the stats, Sunderland have still created chances, not quite as many as Arsenal, but they've had a lot of shots on target, they've created chances, they've got themselves into good areas. Just haven't had that little bit of quality in the final third like Arsenal have.
Yeah, it's a close one. I think 14-10, the shot count in Arsenal's favour. They come forward again now with Pepe trying to thread the ball through for the run of Smith Rowe. Sunderland are able to chip it clear with Doyle. Leno comes all the way outside his penalty area and then just flicks it to his left-hand side for Holding to get Arsenal going again.
Somebody will take a gamble on Nketiah because he's a finisher, and he'll put the ball in the back of the net. But if you were watching the game this evening, so Pepe goes through,
and it's got his man again, he's beaten Hume, he's inside the penalty area, pulls it back for Odegaard, decent save from Burge, diving to his left hand side, not the best shot from Odegaard, had plenty to aim at, went near post. Cedric then plays it in, plenty of air underneath. That is an awkward touch from Embleton that almost caused problems for his fellow defenders, but Arsenal are able to get it away. That really should have been 5. And Odegaard, the man that missed a glorious opportunity after another sublime piece of skill from Nicola Pepe, who's getting the better of Denver Hume every time he runs at him.
Yeah, it's going to be a long 25 minutes for Hume. I think he got nutmegged again there. He's on a booking. It's going to be tough, very, very tough for him.
He's Holding down to Smith Rowe. Now for El Neni trying to chip it over the top. That's gone out of play. Play interrupted you, Danny. You were talking about Nketiah if you were watching his performance tonight.
Yeah, so compare him to Broadhead. So we've seen Broadhead go through, really good finisher. Works really hard, closes down. I thought he held the ball up very, very well. They're a similar age, I think.
Yep.
If you were looking at the two and you're looking at maybe Championship or League One, you're going, well, Broadhead works a lot harder. Yes, I can put him in my team. Is Nketiah going to do that for me at that level? And this is sometimes the problem for these talented players. You've got to make it work for yourself.
Smith Rowe trying to get on the end of a through ball from Odegaard, and it rolls through to the goalkeeper. I totally get where you're coming from, and yet Nketiah's argument would be that he's played 70 games for Arsenal and Broadhead has only played a couple for Everton.
And he's got... Nketiah's probably got more talent, than Broadhead. But you've got to work hard. You've got to use that. You've got to be effective, because you're not going to score 3 tap-ins every single week. And that's effectively what he's done. I know the second one was really good movement, across Doyle to get in front of his man. But the first one is right place, right time, knees in the back of the net. The third one is very, very similar to that. That's not going to happen week in, week out in... whether that be the Premier League, the Championship, League One, or wherever you're playing your football.
Pepe swings it inside the penalty area here. Nketiah trying to head it down. Smith Rowe couldn't get into a shooting position. El Neni urged to shoot, thinks better of it, goes to his right for Martin Odegaard. About 5 yards outside the penalty area. Xhaka this time that the crowd are urging to have a pot shot. Tavares swings the ball inside the penalty area from the Arsenal left. Cedric can't quite pick it up on the Arsenal right. And it goes out for a throw that'll be taken by Sunderland midway inside their own half. And Sunderland have got Doncaster away, Sheffield Wednesday at home, and then Fleetwood at home as the festive games come thick and fast. They're 4 points off the top of League One, 6 points inside the playoff places at the moment. That is the absolute bare minimum of what would be regarded as acceptable. A 6th place finish. Here's Holding making his way forward. To his left hand side is Granit Xhaka. Xhaka back through the midfield again for White, to El Neni, to Cedric, and back for El Neni again, and the Egyptian turns it behind square for Holding. Sunderland struggling to get too many kicks at the moment. Xhaka, long left footed ball forward from him out to the corner of the penalty area. It's headed away by Hume out of the touchline, but Pepe just runs after it, picks it up, fields it, and plays in Odegaard. Back for Pepe again. Pepe towards the edge of the penalty area. Didn't quite break his way. Xhaka works it wide. Here's Nuno Tavares, corner of the box. Tavares trying to take on Gooch. Drops his shoulder, gets away from Embleton. Left-footed ball chipped in. Volley towards goal is an important block. And then Neil is able to put his foot through it to clear. Back from Holding. Brought down well by Pepe. Pepe towards the edge of the D, setting up Odegaard. It's been a good goal scoring form. Odegaard again, little give and go with Pepe around the edge of the penalty area. He gave and he went, but he didn't get the return ball forthcoming. Sunderland then try and push forward and commit a free kick, or commit a foul, should I say, which has given Cedric a free kick near the corner of the box over on the right-hand side. It is one-way traffic now. Arsenal well on top, leading by 4 goals to 1.
Yeah, a little bit surprised that Doyle didn't pick up a book in there. He just overran the ball and piled into Cedric. Sunderland don't deserve it, in all honesty. 4-1's a little bit harsh. 5-1, which looks like that could be coming, would be really, really hard on them.
Well, Arsenal have got 3 players standing over this free kick, which is level with the right-hand edge of the box. They've got Nuno Tavares, Holding and White all in the far post area, and Sunderland have only got 2 defenders picking up the 3 of them. He comes in towards the near post using their position as decoy, and he didn't miss by much. It was a clever one from Ødegaard. He got it over the wall. Now Burge was scrambling. He ended up just kissing the side netting on its way through. Good vision by Ødegaard, but didn't quite have the execution to match. 20 to go. It's 4-1 to Arsenal here on TalkSport.
Clever idea from Ødegaard. Goalkeeper was maybe expecting the cross, little dink to the far post, and he thought, I might as well, we're 4-1 up. I'll have a pot shot and whip it near post.
Arsenal able to bring it forward again with Smith Rowe. The 5th is looking only a matter of time at the moment. Here's Nketiah's got a hat-trick. Ødegaard trying to play it in. Hume misses his kick in an attempt to clear. Pepe can pick it up down by the corner flag. He's laid it back towards Ødegaard. Ødegaard led with the edge of the box. Back from him to El Neni. Now played out to the Arsenal right-hand side again for Cedric. Back from him to El Neni and into a deeper position for Holding inside the centre circle. Here's Granit Xhaka. Wonder if it's going through Mikel Arteta's mind with 20 minutes to go and a 4-1 lead, or whether to bring Charlie Patino on and give him the opportunity to shine. Here's Rob Holding. Holding playing it back behind square for White and then back for Leno. Arsenal have still got 4 changes left at their disposal. Can make 5 in the...
They did make a lot beforehand, didn't they?
Well, there is that, yeah. I mean, the likes of, I suppose, Gabriel and Saka and Partey and Lacazette, not expecting to see much action this evening anyway. But Patino, I think you can make a case for him getting a few minutes.
Yeah, definitely. But, a lot of those, especially those senior players, have been sat on the bench, they'll be cold. They'll be thinking, it can be a bit of a risk sometimes, having been sat there for a while, haven't warmed up properly, haven't got to the pace of the game. You don't want to send them on unnecessarily and pick up any sort of a niggle.
You can't be speaking from experience of sitting on the bench.
Oh, I did that many a times, don't worry about that.
Here's Holding. Back for White. Pritchard, who's always a hive of energy, even at 4-1 down, he's putting the pressure on and he's forced an error, although in trying to nudge the ball back out towards Gooch, he couldn't find his man, and Arsenal will bring it forward again. Sunderland are looking tired here, and Nketiah playing it out towards the Gunners' right-hand side for Pepe, back towards Eddie Nketiah again, and he couldn't quite take the ball with him past the Sunderland challenges inside the box, and the Black Cats survive and will hammer it clear. Arsenal with all the time in the world to pick it up inside their own half though, and it'll be played down towards Granit Xhaka, and another opportunity for them to bring it forward. A high ball over the top. Tavares couldn't quite take it in his stride, and it was offside anyway. Martinelli's going to be coming on in a moment for Arsenal. Don't forget, from 4 a.m. every weekday morning, you can download the TalkSport Daily podcast, which will include some of the best bits from TalkSport and TalkSport 2 over the last 24 hours. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or Acast. You can join Sam Matterface and Alex Crook for the reviews, interviews, analysis and a sprinkle of silliness as well by listening on the TalkSport app or wherever you get your podcasts. So, Gabriel coming on for White, Martinelli for Ødegaard, which will see Smith Rowe change position again and move into the number 10 role. So a couple of changes made by Arsenal with about 18 minutes to go.
Yeah, basically just giving the 2 first-team players, isn't it, a little bit of a rest. Job done, get them off now, get them rested up. Get 2 players on that might just need a little bit of game time. But interesting, isn't it? Smith Rowe, as you just said, moving around again, changing position. We talked about him, how good he is. Hasn't really impressed this evening. For me, he's a 6.5 out of 10. You might be an 8 for you, but
He invariably is an 8 for me, but yeah, tonight he
hasn't really got involved in the game, has he?
No, he hasn't, and I am a huge admirer of his as Gooch wins the free kick, making his way forward down the Sunderland left, and I've seen him influence the last couple of games where he's come off the bench and scored against West Ham and against Leeds, but tonight from the start not so much, and still with an opportunity to score in a fourth successive game. Gabriel Martinelli on as well, hoping to add to his impressive recent run. He's got a good run in this competition, 4 goals in 6 League Cup ties, and he's got 3 goals in the last 2 league games that Arsenal have played as well. But Sunderland have a chance to add a semblance of respectability to the scoreline here. They've got a free kick in a wide position on the left. 2-man Arsenal wall protecting the near post is inside the box. Pritchard standing over it. Flanagan is trying to get free of Martinelli at the far post. First of all, the referee, before allowing the free kick to be taken, is just telling everybody to be careful with the pushing and shoving. Pritchard raises his arm above his head. It's gone for goal. Leno took a step back and beat it away. Out inside the penalty area for Embleton, who's trying his luck and got it all wrong, and he shanked it away and out of play for a goal kick. Sunderland want to make a change themselves, and I think it's going to be a double change that they will be making at the next break in play. Jamie McAllister, Lee Johnson's right-hand man, just dishing out the final instructions ahead of those changes. Corey Evans is one of the players who's going to be coming on in a moment, as Arsenal bring it forward. Gabriel back for Leno, now towards the right-hand side for Holdings. Gabriel's playing on the left of the 2 centre-halves. Holdings changed out towards the right-hand side. Sunderland will be bringing Evans and O'Brien on in a moment. Zelneny plays it down to Nuno Tavares. Tavares down to Martinelli, and that was a poor challenge from Wright. The first touch from Martinelli was just too good for him. He suckered right in, and Wright caught him, and that's a yellow card for the Sunderland captain. The Australian international is the 3rd player booked for them tonight.
A little bit of quality from Martinelli, clever back foot play. Just let the ball run across his body, took it with his back foot. Wright realised that he'd been done and just thought, well, I'm going to have to take you down with my trailing foot, and that's exactly what he did.
So Gooch, Hume and Wright all in the book now for Sunderland. Balogun booked for Arsenal. And the Black Cats, while they're defending this set piece, won't make the change as yet. Gooch is one of the players who will be coming off, I would imagine. Embleton and Pritchard, the 2-man wall, are just being asked by Lee Burge to shuffle to their right-hand side. It's an in-swinging delivery, very deep. Burge punches it away. Gabriel claiming that he was blocked off as he tried to make a run towards the ball. Here's El Neni, high ball over the top from him, chested down by Tavares, who was back on side, then worked by Pepe. And back through the midfield towards Cedric. Cedric with a right-footed delivery into the heart of the penalty area. Cleared out as far as Tavares on the far side. Level with the edge of the box. Taking it out towards the touchline. He looked to try and play in Granit Xhaka and couldn't. Sunderland will be able to bring it forward. They trail 4-1 though with 13 minutes to go here at the Emirates tonight. We've got all 3 of the remaining League Cup quarter-final ties for you tomorrow. Leicester's trip to Liverpool is live on TalkSport. Spurs West Ham on TalkSport 2, and download the app for Brentford against Chelsea. If that's anything as good as the league game between those two at the Community Stadium earlier this season, that'll be a cracker as well. That's all for you tomorrow night on the TalkSport network. Bailey Wright playing it forward for Sunderland down the right-hand side. Flanagan making his way forward from centre-half, and he's won a corner. Playing it off Nuno Tavares. And a corner which will be taken on the Sunderland right, and they will now make the change. And Gooch is the first player to come off, and Corey Evans will come on to replace him. The man who was in the Blackburn side that held Liverpool in the FA Cup quarter-finals back in 2015. And Embleton will come off, and O'Brien is on for him. So a double change being made with 12 minutes to go by Sunderland ahead of this corner, which Pritchard will go out to take. 4-1 to Arsenal. Evans just back from injury. He's missed about a month with a thigh problem, and he makes his way forward towards the edge of the penalty area now. Pritchard spotting the ball down. Raises both hands above his head this time. 6-8 man inside that penalty area. Low flat delivery, which was well attacked by Bailey Wright, and then Sunderland get a free kick as one of their players went down. The referee says a head injury. The Sunderland player jumped back to his feet. It was Winchester, and straight away to say, no, I'm all right. Nothing wrong with me. Please allow play to continue, but the referee has stopped it. I think it's going to be a drop ball, Arsenal's favour, level the edge of their own penalty area.
I thought the referee given a free kick to start with.
Well, here's a big moment for a big player. Charlie Patino is the man that is going to come on. Another one out of the fantastic academy at Hale End. So highly regarded. And he's going to come on for his first team debut to replace Emil Smith-Rowe for the last 10 minutes or so. This is something that Adrian was talking about. It bears repeating. Sean O'Connor, who was the man that discovered Jack Wilshere, said that Charlie Patino's the best player who's ever walked through the doors at Hale End. Listen to the reception he gets, wearing 87 as he comes on now. This, I'm sure, the first of many appearances in the famous red and white for the 18-year-old Charlie Patino. Always good to see a youngster with a big reputation coming on for his first team debut, Danny.
Oh, definitely. Obviously, he's worked incredibly hard. He's clearly talented. Now he's just got to stay calm. You know, it's quite nice coming on at 4-1 up, I have to say. You know, he'll get plenty of the ball. Hopefully, get a nice few touches. But yeah, just needs to ease himself into it.
Martinelli on the left flank. And the free kick has gone against him. Just going back to what Sean O'Connor said, and talking of Charlie Patino, he's an amazing awareness of where he is on the pitch, where other players are. His vision is so good, he can split a defence with a pass. Now 10 minutes against a side that the 4-1 down, the game is already over. How many opportunities is going to really get to make too much of an impression? We don't know. It'd be interesting to watch him. He's in that number 10 role, vacated by Smith-Rowe.
The problem with that, though, Jim, is now we're all expecting massive things. For anybody that's not seen him, it's like, well, we've been told he's the best player that's ever come through Arsenal's academy. So if he doesn't do that immediately, everyone's like, oh, it just... Sometimes I think it's a bit unnecessary at times. I know people want to big people up and, oh, you know, we found him or we produced him and all the rest of it. But like, sometimes for an 18-year-old kid, that's unnecessary pressure.
So what you're saying is you're going to blame me if it all goes wrong?
No, certainly not you. Ouch, that hurt.
It did. Martinelli, a real clash of heads there. And it was Bailey Wright, I think, is the Sunderland player who's down injured as well. Martinelli, who's not long been on the field, and he is lying on his back inside the centre circle, and as soon as there was the collision,
I think Wright might be even in more trouble. It looks like it's caught his cheekbone or eye socket more than anything else. No, I'm not blaming you, Jim. I'm blaming the academy guy for saying it in the first place.
Well, one of the Arsenal medical staff has come towards the edge of the technical area, just waiting for the signal to come on, and it looks as though he's either got an audition or he's going to a fancy dress party as somebody out of Ghostbusters later on.
I mean that's COVID secure to another level, isn't it?
Yeah, big white boiler suits, and
that's the forensic team have turned up.
Absolutely, big backpacks on as well. But thankfully, both players involved are back on their feet without the need for any treatment or oxygen, which was the concern just for a moment. Martinelli's okay, Bailey Wright as well, and great to see big handshake between the pair of them, because it was just a collision, both players with eyes on the ball.
Yeah, they both went for it, they both missed it, and unfortunately it just clashed.
Play resumes, and it's Burge, the goalkeeper, who plays it out from the back. The Arsenal fans have all got their mobile phones, or many of them have got their mobile phones out, turned the torches on. The Sunderland fans not impressed, judging by the choruses that greeted the impromptu light show. Here's Stewart for Sunderland, who has been able to to labour on, despite picking up that injury in the opening moments of the second half. Clearance for Arsenal only falls for O'Brien in the Sunderland midfield. He's laid it back for Doyle. Doyle playing it out to the left-back Hume, who came on as a substitute right at the end of the first half for the injured Broadhead. Now it's Flanagan, right-footed, forward from him through the midfield. Ball bypassing Winchester, and then O'Brien has fouled Tavares. And it's a free kick to Arsenal. 6 minutes to go, Danny. And it's all over by the shouting. 4-1 to Arsenal.
Yeah, it's just starting to fizzle out now, isn't it? The intensity has dropped completely. I mean, it's a shame, really, because Sunderland give a really good account of themselves early on. Some silly mistakes. They went 2-0 down, got themselves back into it. Broadhead with a fantastic finish. Deft little flick over the goalkeeper. And then another silly goal right at the start of the second half cost them dear.
Eddie Nketiah, who's scored a hat-trick, playing it forward now for Martinelli. Martinelli, a little reverse ball in, too far ahead of Nketiah, who's gone down. Has he given a penalty? Well, Doyle was the defender involved. Nketiah going down inside the penalty area. He hasn't given a penalty. He's going to wait for Nketiah to get back to his feet. Is he going to produce a yellow card for a dive? No, he's not. Goal kick, the verdict.
How can he not? If he doesn't, I mean, it's a blatant dive. Nketiah waits for the contact, it doesn't come, and he throws himself to the floor. The referee sees that and lets him get away with it. How are you going to stop diving if you don't punish it?
Well, that was a strong challenge as well, and that was perpetrated by Doyle, and he gets a yellow card. And that was one not in a dangerous area, about 25 yards outside the penalty area. Doyle, I think, still irate after the way that Nketiah had gone down, and he has gone right through Patino, who's cleared him out. And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken by us. Patino's okay, back on his feet. Doyle, the fourth Sunderland player to have his name taken.
Yeah, can't have any complaints about that. Crude, even in Mills tackles terms, that one.
That is a high bar. And a high challenge invariably as well. I'm sure that Doyle and Patino have played against each other many times growing up. Doyle at Manchester City and Patino in the academy here. Just a little welcome to the game. So this free kick taken by Cedric, chipped inside the penalty area for the run of Nketiah, but they didn't get enough on it. It was knocked away by Evans. One back by Xhaka in the midfield. Forward from him for Gabriel, who's still forward and tries to get into a shooting position, and then works it way wide to the left-hand side. Tavares had to really put the afterburners on to go up through the gears and keep it in. He managed to do that, but Arsenal, in maintaining possession, have been forced to go backwards. El Neni, just at the moment, dropping in the heart of the defence after Gabriel's saunter forward. Holding can bring it forward. Gabriel is back in the defensive line now, picks up possession. And El Neni will be able to bring it forward. Holding dropping back into station behind him. Gabriel inside the centre circle. 3 minutes to go. 4-1 the scoreline.
Has Patino touched it yet?
He's been touched. I don't think he's had a touch.
No, he got clattered, didn't he? But apart from that, I'm not sure he's had a touch of the ball yet.
Gabriel. Patino is, I'm guessing, about 5'10", 5'11", dark hair. And he's just waiting patiently for the ball to come his way. Play that to him now. Comfortable touch. Back towards Pepe. Pepe towards Cedric. Cedric with a long ball forward. The attendance tonight, in terms of tickets sold, just a shade over 59,000, which is almost capacity. Haven't been 59,000 in here tonight at any stage, but 59,000 tickets sold this evening. Maybe 45,000 were here, I would guess. Sunderland fans away to our right-hand side, pack their end out. It's going to be a late night for those that are down and back up in the day. And plenty of positive aspects from their team's performance as well. A few negative ones, disappointingly. Some preventable goals, let's say. Here's Cedric. getting away from the challenge from Winchester. Cedric then turns back infield away from Winchester again. El Neni has 2 yellow shirts around him, but bisects the gap between them to find Xhaka, and Gabriel will be able to bring it forward with 90 seconds of the 90 minutes left.
No real surprise. I think you have to say Arsenal just had a bit more quality, overall. Some of the defending from Sunderland hasn't helped them, but in the final third, that little bit of extra class, composure, quality has been the real difference. In the middle of the pitch, it's been pretty even, and Sunderland have given them a really good account of themselves. When you think of there's almost 2 divisions, isn't there, but between them?
Absolutely, 43 places. Here's Nketiah. Tavares blazed over the bar. And that was a good chance on the left-hand side of the 6-yard box. Only about 4 yards from the dead ball line, but he had to put his left foot through it very quickly under pressure. And he snatched it in and put far too much underneath it and way over the bar.
Got excited, didn't he? Saw his name in lights, absolutely smashed it, but sliced across it. And, almost into the second tier.
He's only scored the 1 goal in his career so far, which came on his league debut for Benfica a couple of years ago. And couldn't get his first one for Arsenal there. 30 seconds to go. 4-1 to the Gunners, with Eddie Nketiah scoring a hat-trick, Pepe with the other one for them. Nathan Broadhead scoring Sunderland's goal, which had got it back to 2-1 and set up the best 15 minutes of the game, which was towards the end of the first half. Here's Xhaka.
Good performance from Arsenal, but
an 8 out of 10?
No, because it's a League One side, and a League One side that has caused them many, many problems. I don't know, you've got the stats here. What have Sunderland had? 10 shots on target, probably? You can't afford that. If that's a Premier League team, that's probably 3 goals you're conceding. Can't afford to do that. I know it's been a second-string Arsenal team. They were always going to hide into nothing, because whatever happens here, if you win, you're expected to. If you don't win, then clearly there's a bit of a problem.
6 on target, but they have had 12 attempts, Sunderland all told. We're in 3 minutes of stoppage time. Benji Kimpioka is going to be coming on in a moment for Sunderland final change. Arsenal got it right inside of the box, sliding in. Oh, it's Patino on his debut. Well, he's touched it now. Charlie Patino sliding in on the edge of the 6-yard box. A debut for him, a debut goal for him. Looks as though there's tears in the eyes. A special, special moment for a special player. Charlie Patino on his debut scores for Arsenal to wrap it up at 5-1.
Great night for the young man. Something that he'll remember forever, coming on here. Big crowd in, but again the defending from Sunderland far too simple. He just drifts into the box, pokes it home with his left foot, doesn't have to do too much about it. It's Pepe with the assist again, just rolls it onto the edge of the 6-yard box, sliding in, taps it home, left foot.
Good play again by Pepe, who's certainly played his part tonight. It's his second assist.
Somebody just take him out, for goodness sake.
And that's not Pepe we're talking about, it's a pitch invader who has been on the pitch, was on the pitch for a long time, and has managed to get back into the Arsenal fans. They're still chasing him up the stairway. The Arsenal stewards, I think they've got him now, but he was on the pitch for a long time and evading all the potential challenges coming in on him.
It's like a Keystone Cops. Just running around. He's running up the steps, down the steps, round the pitch, round the players.
Bit of exuberance, over exuberance from one young Arsenal supporter.
He won't be coming back.
So Sunderland make their final change, and it's Kimpioka who has come on for Ross Stewart. Kimpioka, Swedish under-21 international forward, making only his 3rd appearance of the season. Has been down in the National League playing for Torquay last season. Southend this on loan so far, without being prolific at either club. In the closing seconds, Charlie Patino's name, the one that is emanating around the Emirates.
Harsh on Sunderland, really. It's not been a 5-1 performance by any means. Yes, Arsenal have got a bit more quality, but we knew that from the very, very beginning.
Patino with the last touch of the night. with the last goal of the night. A famous night as far as he's concerned. A comfortable victory for Arsenal, who are through to the last 4 of the League Cup. This is a hurdle that has done for them much more often than not over the last few years. But class told on a night where Sunderland gave a good account of themselves, particularly in the first half. But once they went 3-1 down, it began to unravel. Eddie Nketiah will take the headlines and the match ball. Charlie Patino with a debut goal on a night that he will never forget. And Sunderland can concentrate on matters in hand in getting themselves back up to the second tier of English football. But comfortable for Arsenal in the end. They've beaten the Black Cats by 5 goals to 1.